A lot of these bloodlines are Satanist. In fact, the major ones are all Satanists. And by that I mean they are into human sacrifice, human blood drinking, and all that other stuff, sacrifice of children. And it's been going on way back. And people have no problem with the fact that it was going, oh yeah, those ancients used to do that, and the Aztecs and all that stuff. But they can't expand that perception of the possible that it's still going on. It is massively going on. The fact is it was openly going on then it became unacceptable to the population in general, and it's gone on secretly ever since.
Another element of the Rothschilds, they are known for their involvement in a religion called Luciferianism or Satanism. Baroness Philippine Rothschild often wore jewelry that depicts the symbol of Satanism, a horned goat. She even had jewels that simply showed the head of Satan. On this picture we can see Baron Jacob Rothschild posing in front of a famous painting called Satan Calls His Armies Forth from Hell. He poses alongside one of their favorite artists, Marina Abramovich. This lady organizes very strange parties for the elites. Here you see some images of these parties that are called spirit cooking. They basically celebrate the practice of human sacrifice and cannibalism.
Even the owl is a symbol of ancient mystery Babylon. The owl was worshipped by the ancient Egyptians and by the Babylonians. And it's interesting to me that many of the members of the Bohemian Grove have in their homes, as I understand it, small figurines of owls. And I believe they actually worship those owls as a symbol of the deity, the great goddess of Babylon.
They believe themselves to be the sons and daughters of the fallen one, Lucifer. The elite are obsessed with the likes of Aleister Crowley and engage in the disgusting rituals he prescribed, which includes the consumption of bodily fluids and child sacrifice. The ruling so-called elite certainly view themselves as a race apart. But who are they? Typically, the elite come from certain ancient bloodlines. Researcher Fritz Springmeier identified 13 such bloodlines in his book, Bloodlines of the Illuminati. The elite are obsessed with genealogy, many tracing their bloodlines back thousands of years to ancient Sumer and Babylonia. These are the people at the top of the pyramid who fund both sides of wars, spark revolutions, make presidents their puppets, and they are weird. Not just eccentric or odd, but totally inhumanly strange and evil. A common distinguishing theme among elite circles is an inversion of everything. Good is bad, ugliness is beauty, and pain is pleasure. These are all forms of trauma-based mind control, which is almost always done to Illuminati children.
These people are warped by this generational torture that they do to their children. And so they get to you as an early child. You're raped at least once a week when you grow up in a satanic family. You're beaten, you're put into small cages. One of the best rituals that they use to split the mind so they can build altars and form a multiple personality person is when you're 3 years old, they'll put you in a custom-built wrought iron cage and leave you in a room for several days.
Now, wait a minute. How common is this?
This is standard operating procedure.
Generational child abuse has been passed down in their families for hundreds of years. As always, they have the power to never even be questioned. In 2014, an heir to the Illuminati DuPont family confessed to raping his 3-year-old daughter, but was only sentenced to probation because the judge felt he, quote, would not fare well in prison. They are sometimes forced to participate in the abuse or sacrifice of animals to further break down their mind. While the elite do keep masterful works of art hidden away in their private collections, The art they truly fawn over is not really what most would even consider art. In total celebration of all that is grotesque and repulsive, the sick individuals who run our world pay outrageous sums to collect the most disturbing art they can find.
I was reading this morning on ABC News about the Sultan of Oman and other people, buying artwork, buckets of maggots. I told you they love buckets of maggots. Images of dead children and maggots, crystal skulls, formaldehyde, fish tanks with dead cows in them, dressed in gold, Jesus with maggots all over. See, that's who rules things. That's who runs it. All these elite homes, let's go to the room where it really shows who we are. And that to them, it's so beautiful. Images of demons eating babies. Images of maggots covering everything. Maggots, cans of human feces for millions of dollars apiece. That's their works of art. You see, this is just the front of it. The maggots, the dead kids, the golden calves covered in maggots and crap. This is what they're into.
Take, for example, Washington, D.C. power broker Tony Podesta, brother of John Podesta, former White House Chief of Staff. His home is filled with disturbing paintings of children being stripped down and tortured. He has a golden statue known as the Arch of Agony, modeled after the posed corpses of serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer's victims. If you don't see the artistic beauty in that, you are obviously an uncultured plebeian. When a cannibal painting was found hanging in John Podesta's Clinton campaign office, his only comment? It's better to be the guy with the fork than the guy on the table. Another so-called artist admired by Tony Podesta and the like is Patricia Piccinini. This woman creates realistic sculptures of absolutely grotesque, lifelike monsters and repulsive human hybrid creatures, often depicted clutching children in disturbing poses.
These people, the yachts, the hookers, the power, it all starts not having the luster anymore. So they pay top dollar at first for the snuff films of children. Big in Europe, big in Russia, just incredible evil. And so that's the thrill.
They get a fiendish thrill out of watching others suffer. The most sought-after high among the elite comes from an extremely rare, yellowish-brown drug obtained by sacrificing a terrified victim and using a hypodermic needle to extract a substance known as adrenochrome from the base of the neck, or in lesser effect by drinking the blood of the sacrificed person. Many Illuminati elite are addicted to the extreme high of human adrenaline, secreted at the height of terror.
I've talked to a lot of Satanists who've told me common themes about what goes on in these rituals. And one of the things that they do is when they're sacrificing somebody, the people with invisible light, the Satanists and the bloodlines, they'll drink the blood because when the terror reaches a certain point in the ritual, a certain adrenaline goes in the blood, which gives these people a high. I mean, sick is not the word.
Cannibalism is another particularly enjoyed practice among the elite, often done in a ritualistic nature. Most shockingly, in his book, Bloodlines of the Illuminati, Fritz Springmeier claims that the flesh of the Illuminati Grand Dame Doris Duke of the notorious Duke family was consumed in a satanic Halloween ritual. What differentiates the elite bloodline from everyone else? Long ago in the ancient cultures to which they trace their heritage, the ancestors of today's hidden rulers pledged themselves and their future generations to the dark force that opposes humanity. Call it Satan, archons, or whatever, and that energy still lives on through their descendants to this day. As one begins to study the lives of the elite, a common denominator is always their allegiance to Luciferian doctrine. It is the key tenet of the Illuminati.
Here's the way they look at it. Here's their metaphor. Adam and Eve were held prisoner in the Garden of Eden by an unjust, cruel, and vindictive God. Lucifer, through his agent Satan, set man free from this garden by giving him the gift of intellect. Through the use of intellect, man will conquer the earth, will conquer nature, and will himself become God. It's taught in every Masonic temple in this land, every secret brotherhood, every secret society, every mystical temple, every occult organization teaches the Luciferian philosophy.
These rituals are increasingly being done in public on a scale not seen since the days of Stonehenge.
Teaching Satanism in schools sounds like the stuff of horror movies, but a US court ruling on religious freedoms has enabled devil worshippers in Florida to hand out educational material about their beliefs to kids at state schools.
The 10-page Satanic Children's Big Book of Activities features characters named Annabelle and Damien who demonstrate rituals to explain Satanism.